Hey everyone, welcome to the Come Let Us Reason Together podcast. I'm your host Yandea, and joining me, like always, is my co-host and brother Duane.
Welcome everyone.
So on today's podcast, we are going to pose an interesting topic or question to one another. And we are just going to go from there, hoping to receive more questions and more topic ideas from you, our beautiful, lovely viewers. So please be sure that you leave a comment or ask a question at the bottom of this video or any of the others that you would see, and we will be sure to respond to it in an upcoming video. Also, I want to remind you that if you would like to be part of our podcast, if you'd like to come on and share and reason with us, you are welcome to. You just need to contact us below any of the videos pertaining to this podcast, Come Let Us Reason Together. Yeah. So without any further ado, Duane, I have a question for you today. And my question is, what is your take on the word ascension? So when I say ascension, what comes to mind?
Yeah. So I think when I first heard of the word of ascension or the concept of ascension, it more felt like you're rising, like you're ascending, you're leveling up spiritually, but it's also like ascension from this 3D plane into other dimensions, just rising up to other levels. So I think that was conceptually where I started with ascension. But now, after sitting with it for a while and growing with it and living, I feel like ascension is an expansion, and it is not necessarily about leaving where you are, whether it's the plane you're at, to go to another plane or whatever the case may be, but it's about you being the most of you, where you are, being the best, the highest, the greatest version of yourself. And it's also about stripping away layers. That's a big part of ascension, is removing the layers to reveal the gem, the essence, the signature of you, and then sharing that with the world. So
I like that. I like that. That's nice. When you say can you think back to the first time you maybe heard the word ascension? Because I know we have similar backgrounds in that that's not really a word that we're going to be using culturally, ascension. No. So when you first heard that word ascension, can you think of the first time you heard the word ascension? In what context maybe you heard it?
Yeah, I mean, as a word, maybe I heard it before, when I was in my Christian days, but the concept of ascension, I don't think I really was introduced to that until maybe within a year or two of being outside of the church and everything like that. Is when I started. That first year we went through so many different phases, from what is Christianity, really breaking it down to its core, and getting into the Hebrew stuff and getting all of this stuff, and then it gradually became more and more esoteric or metaphysical, and so concepts like ascension, I would say within maybe a year or two. in my journey. Yeah.
Okay. As I asked that question, you know, I was quickly thinking after I asked it while you were thinking of the answer, of any scriptures where ascension was mentioned. I think there was when he ascended into the heavens.
Yes.
On that cloud, right?
Yeah, like in that place of Christianity or whatever the case may be, ascension was more reserved for like Yeshua ascending, Enoch, Elijah, like people that like left the earthly plane and went into heaven. Like that's what ascension was. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And in that frame, I guess you would think there's only one ascension, which is like when Jesus returns, and then everyone ascends up into the New Jerusalem, whatever the case may be. So as a like individual internal journey of development, it's a very different context.
Right. So then before ascension would be something like a physical ascension, like actually going up into the heavens, even if not with these bodies, but like, a sense of, but definitely going, that's what you were saying in the beginning, like going into another dimension or another plane, another realm. I get that. Okay. And I guess I'm supposed to answer the same question.
Yes.
So for me, and the thing is, I thought, I'll ask him about ascension, but I didn't think about it because I wanted to be fresh. But I remember one of our talks about ascension, and it was so much focus on like maybe visiting a physical place and climbing a physical mountain. You know, and having a spiritual experience after climbing this physical mountain that obviously would have had spiritual properties. And then we would have a spiritual experience after that. So definitely, I remember having that realization that the only, mountain that we actually have to climb is our own self, being able to ascend to the heights of our own being. And so I think when we think about the climb of ascending, and then we think of the journey, how rough it may be, how tiring it may get, how many challenges may come along the way, how much like when you're doing something like climbing, you at times are going to want to give in, give up. So many just different internal dialogues may take place. And I think when we talk about ascension, for me, it's that inner climb, wanting to overcome your own bumps in the road, your own hurdles, just all of the rough terrain, that might be there along your own journey to discover all of who you are and who, Most High created you to be. And that could really be seen as in integrating your higher self, right? And I think for me, ascension would be oneness with your highest version. The highest version of yourself would be a oneness. So it's not really that you are going anywhere up, but more so going in, being able to get to the center, the exact, essence of who you are, your seed, And I think that's what ascension is to me. It's like the further in you go is the higher you go. You have to go in to go high,
Yes.
And so just high, even the word higher for me is not it's not a heights, but it's a depth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
so that for me is what I think of when I think, okay, I want to ascend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ascend and get anything that's not mine. I want to ascend to be able to be in full awareness and oneness, and no more having divisions or separation like in any part of me, but having just a oneness with all of me, mind, body, soul, spirit, all of that. And for me, that looks like me being the divine spirit that I am, dancing in nature, in oneness. It's the divine spirit in the material world.
Yeah.
It is the being and the living of the immortal in the mortal.
Yes. Yeah.
And just being there in that experience, immortality, experiencing mortality, mortality, experiencing immortality, and it's just a oneness.
Yes.
And all is well.
I love that.
And all is well.
And all is well.
Yeah.
Wow, that needs to, you need to just go back to this recording and write like a poem or something.
About that?
You're getting bare bars just now. Wow, that was so good. Yeah. That was so good.
I had to really, while you were talking, be very present to not think of what will my answer be, knowing that I would have to answer the question. And then once it was my turn to answer it, it was like, okay, you can't talk about ascension without being it. So then I just sunk into myself. I just sunk in to allow my feeling, my knowing to just come out of my mouth in sound and in words that could be understood, but without thinking about it. And I know it appeared like I was thinking, but not the type of thinking, Yeah. And I like that. I've been practicing that a lot, just sinking into the center and then just allowing, almost like breathing, just a gentle exhale, just allowing the words to just be, and no judgment, no worry about will they be right, will they make sense, but just allowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good,
wow.
It's a good place to be. It's a good way to, it feels good,
I would love for you to talk more about that, that practice of going within and just, like you said, sinking to that place and just being present, what do you feel to share about that?
Well, there's so much to share about that. It's first of all, it's love, right? It's love. It's love for the other person. It's love for yourself. It's love for the moment. And I think when you have those three loves, like love for whoever you're sharing the moment with, love for yourself, meaning that you will allow yourself to not judge yourself. You'll allow yourself to be free, to be the dumb one or the wise one. You allow yourself, literally, you just have no expectation of yourself other than to be able to be whatever you are in this moment. To know whatever you know, to share whatever you have to share. Maybe after this episode, I might think, I should have said this or I could have said that, but I won't, because it doesn't matter. I just didn't say it because it wasn't with me in the moment. So I said what needed to be said in the moment, and just being okay with that. Being okay with just loving who was present in this moment. Is it the Yandea who was remembering a childhood story? Is it the Yandea who was just here speaking right now? Is the Yandea who's thinking about a future dream or goal? It's okay. It's okay. Whoever is present to answer the question, that's great.
Mhm.
You know, no judgment, no nothing. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
There's no wanting to be wise. There's no wanting to be dumb. There's no fear of being dumb. There's no
Yeah.
glory in being wise. It's just the peace of being, the bliss of being, you know?
Yes.
And so it's easy to do when you have no opinion of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to do. It's such a great relaxing space. And it's like an abandonment. It's an abandonment of any, I don't know, it's an abandonment. I don't even want to find another word. It's just an abandonment. It's just an abandonment. And then you just have love for the moment. We'll never get this moment back.
Yeah.
Right? We'll never get this moment back. This is it. This is this moment. Even if you do a past life regression and you come back to this moment, this moment is you're remembering it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So a love for this moment, a love for you to be able to be present, that when you're speaking, I'm not thinking about my answers. I'm just listening to you. I'm giving you all of my attention. And then for myself. I think if you could combine those three, you're there. That's it. Just practice that. You know?
I love that. I absolutely love that. Wow.
Yep.
That was a gem. I feel like I just have to sit with that, you know? Because there's so much in what you said, like on each level. When you said about not having an opinion of yourself, you know, being okay to seem wise or seem foolish and not being attached to either, you know?
Yeah, just surrender to who you are. It's okay. You know, just accept that. Accept it. You either have the answers or you don't. You either remember them or you don't. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know,
literally.
yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's funny too because, you know, when we first had the idea for Come Let Us Reason together, I really thought that my desire is really to give a platform to people to talk about whatever. Like, let's reason. This is a safe place. Let's reason. And I really did think that more people would
come on.
Just have that desire for that. But I think maybe I was projecting. You know, maybe I was projecting in the sense that I'm the one who really desires to have a world where there's freedom to reason, and freedom to talk about anything. And so I always search the comments to see if people are asking questions and if they whatever, but it seems like people are just happy listening to whatever it is that we talk about. And so as I think about the question you just asked about not having opinions and not whatever, it's coming to me like, just take the same approach with this podcast, you know? Just show up, just talk. If there's something to talk about it. If there's not something to talk about, then just, it is what it is, you know? And just
listen,
accept
that's
things
exactly
where they
what
are.
happens.
That is what happens. That literally is what happens. We don't have a choice. It's what happens. Yeah. And so, you know, and I think there's something beautiful because I think like doing YouTube, anything really social media that you want, anything you want to be successful, it comes with an element of stress, you know, because you have expectations of it and you have expectations of yourself. And when those things are not being met, you know, like, of course you want to have people who would subscribe. Of course you want to be able to, you know that you're sharing valuable like information. And when you don't see those things happening, then you could get discouraged. And, you know, but again, when you're in your room and you're just having these thoughts, no one's really hearing it. If you do a channel or something and a few people hear your thoughts, it's better than nobody who was hearing it in your room. So
exactly,
you know, so it doesn't really matter in that sense, you know, because one is better than none. And you never know who out there and what date and time. Like, yeah, we're in 2025 recording this now, but someone down the road can come to this video, and many people down the road can come to this video, and it just serve as such a helpful thing for them. So just be present and just show up. If you feel in your spirit that you're supposed to do something, just do it, because there is no time with spirit. So spirit is telling you to do something, and you're thinking it's because it's going to show up tomorrow or the answer is going to be, but there is no time. It's just you have to do it, because at a certain time that thing will be needed.
Yes.
Right? Everything is all happening now. Spirit is just now. It's an eternal now. We're experiencing time. No, for spirit, it is just now. And sometimes spirit tells you to do something, gives you an idea, and you're like, I got the idea for this. Why isn't it happening the way that I thought it was going to happen? And it's just because you're off in your understanding that spirit is not in time.
This is it.
Spirit is not in time.
This is it.
Yeah. So you just have to just know that, oh, I was obedient, I did it, and you leave it there. Just plant the seed and keep going.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
Keep going.
You never know when and where that thing will end up being the thing that's needed.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah.
And that's a great example. You asked me about Ascension. I asked you about Ascension. You asked me about Ascension. Then you had another question because of how I answered something. And now I'm just sitting here and I'm just talking about whatever. And even in that little discussion, something there might be what someone needed to hear in order to continue having faith in something that they're doing, or an idea that they had, or whatever the case may be. And that's just how it is. That's just, the more you relax and surrender into trust, trust in your moment, trust in who you are, and just trust that you are exactly who you need to be in this moment you are. It's forget the past, forget the future. Just in this moment, everything you need to manifest your future, you are it right now. It's like I was talking to one of my mentorship students and mentees, I guess is the word. And we were talking about her future self and how glorious her future self is. And then I said, okay, the next part of this is to realize that your future self, it's like you look at a tree and the tree is amazing and full of fruit, and you're like in awe of this tree. But I'm like, realize that all of the energy and the encoding, you know, like in that tree to become what it is you right now.
Yes.
You in this present moment is the person who makes that happen.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And guess what? However far you've come right now in your life to who you are right now, that you feel good about yourself, about certain things, is the result of the person you were in the past.
Yes.
And then that person in the past is a result of the person before that, and before that, and before that, and before that, and before that.
That's
so
right.
When it all comes down to it, love yourself every place that you are. Love yourself right now.
Right now.
Because who you are now is the person who creates who you will be. So have love for who you are now. Doesn't matter if you have things to change. It's you now who's going to change those things. You see what I'm saying? And so at the highest, in the real ascension, when you look at yourself, you no longer see past me, past life me, this, that. You no longer see higher self, lower self. You just see, this is me. Because you're in the eternal now. And all of your past, it's not past selves. Because we say past selves sometimes just to detach from the lower level of consciousness that we had. And when you're in the highest level of consciousness, you do not look down on the seed that you had to be where you are now. You only have gratitude.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh,
it's like nobody can stare at the sun. No one can stare at the sun. For how long can you do it? Right? But all of us could stare at the places that the sun gives light to. We can admire the flower. We can admire the room that was dark that's now lit because the sun is up. And why? Because of the sun rays. You see what I'm saying? The sun ray is the place where the sun is. It's bringing the light of the sun. And all of us, like if you look at it like time, here is the sun and here is the ray going to shine light in the darkness. We just are existing along here.
That's it.
But what about that source? That source is you.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes because we're in this world, we lose sight. Literally talking about seeing the light.
Literally.
We lose sight of where the true power is coming from to manifest change and to create change and to manifest anything, to manifest our dream lives. You don't have to become another person. You just have to be who you truly are, because who you truly are is the person you're trying to become.
That's it.
So the moment you just kind of stop trying to be, because in the trying to be, all you're doing is affirming that you're not that.
That you're not. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The mere fact that you're trying to be is constantly affirming that you're not that. So you have to stop trying to be, realize that you are that, because all of life is teaching you that, okay, the person I am right now, I'm not a different person from, I changed beliefs. I changed my actions. I changed my speech, my thoughts, mindset. It's still me. I just changed. It's still me. And who decided to change? I did. Who decided to talk differently? I did. Who decided to stop the bad habit? I did. Who decided to follow both sides? I did.
That's right.
It's still you. It's always you. You're always going to be the source.
Wow.
So the moment we realize that future person that I want to be, I am that future person. Now, what are the things that I changed? That's all. Just what are the things that I changed? Because the things that I have now have manifested this, and the things that I want, something has to change here. What are the things that have to change? You just change it, but you yourself, you are always the same person. And I'm saying that because some people have a lot of self-hate. And you cannot do anything positive for yourself with self-hate. It's not good. It's not good. Sure, you think you've manifested this and manifested that, but the biggest thing that you have to manifest is love for self. Because when you manifest love for self, you manifest love for others. Right? And everything that we desire in this world, like I always say, God uses people to bless you.
That's it.
It's people. So the more you're able to love yourself, you're able to love others, then you are creating a higher vibration, higher frequency around your own self. That means people who are moving in that same vibration will be attracted to you, which means if people have to decide who they want to trust and bless and this and that, is going to be, you're going to be the one vibrating in the right frequency. Right? And then your problem becomes, all these people want to work with me or want to whatever, and which one do I choose? You know, not like I can't find anyone. And it won't be like, why doesn't anybody want to? It'll be like, wow, so many people want to. Help me to choose the right person. Like you have a different set of concerns, you know, but it starts with self-love, realizing that you are the source, and all you need to do is to make changes, and sometimes not even big changes, but the first change is how you see yourself.
Yes. It's so amazing that we started out talking about ascension and we ended up here, but
Yes.
self-love is huge to ascension. Like, you can't have one without the other.
Yes.
And you said so many things that it's just so amazing. Like, yes.
Yes.
You are the one that that creates the person that you're going to be. Like, just so many things. Like,
who's creating that person? Like, what do you mean? It's like okay, we all know this, right? We look and we're like, oh wow, God must be so great. God must be so amazing because of all of this that God has created, including us, right? Look at all of this of God. So we already know the creator is always greater than the creation.
Yeah.
The creator is always greater than the creation.
Yes.
So this person who you would like to be, the life you would like to have, it can't be greater than you who's creating it.
Ooh, wow. Wow. It's the third time that you said it that I actually got it. You're like, the creator, I'm like, yes, the creator is good. And then, bam, wow.
Yeah. So if you hate yourself right now and you're the creator, what the hell are you going to create?
Nothing good.
Yeah. If you don't even understand that you're the one creating, then, like, there's no discussion.
Yes.
So ascension is taking responsibility for your role as a co-creator. Right?
Yeah.
When you actually truly come to that consciousness that, even to start contemplating ascension is realizing that all of this stuff that exists outside of yourself, it exists within yourself. So if you want to alter things outside of yourself because you're creating it, because you're the projector, you have to deal with the things in yourself, because the things outside of yourself are a reflection of what's in yourself. So then you can't go high. You have to go, like the high that way, how people think. You have to go in.
Yes.
You have to go in to where the source of the image is. You are an image. You are an image. But the source of this image is inside. If you think of a projector, like a literal projector, here's a wall, and you see an image of a garden. Then all of a sudden you see a fly. If you had to like go onto the wall and try to catch the fly, you couldn't. Why? Because the fly is resting on that glass of the projector. It's resting on the projector, and it's only the light that's making it be seen on the wall. But you can't get rid of that thing. Anything that is on the projector will be seen out there. So you cannot touch and try to clean the wall to clean what's being projected. You have to go to the source and remove it, and then it won't appear on the wall. So out here is a wall. Everything is being projected on the walls, but they're all coming from the source of these projectors, which we are. So anything you're seeing in your outside world that you don't like, you have to say, I'm seeing this here, which means if I'm seeing it here, it's being projected from within here. So where is it in here that I could remove it, that I could adjust it, that I could tweak it to change what I'm seeing on the outside? Right? And that's why ascension is so important, because it's really about going in. And when you go in, this is when you can literally create heaven on earth, because you understand, I am co-creating, I am rebuilding, I am a builder. And everything out here is being built and created, manifesting because of what's in here. And if we each take accountability, responsibility for our projections, all of a sudden the world becomes a much better place, and all of our creations are deliberate because we're aware of what we're projecting and creating on earth, right? I don't think you can have a question for me. I did too much time.
No. I just go meditate now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love and I hope that people who would watch this would see the power of just relaxing into yourself, just relaxing into your I am that I am, and I receive it and I love it, I accept it. And you know, the am that I am will always be I am that I am. It will always be. However, as much as you may change, you know, like, I may not be the same today that I was yesterday, but that's only in time. Because today, yesterday, and tomorrow exist in time.
Yes.
But in eternity, I am always I am.
Yes.
The same yesterday, today, and forevermore.
That's it. Ooh,
you see?
That's where that comes from. Yes. Yesterday, today, and forever, because in eternity, it's not a linear
it's not.
thing.
No.
It's a completion.
A completion.
It's the full tree.
Beginning, middle, and end all at once.
All of it.
To the point where beginning, middle, and end all at once. So there is no end and there is no beginning. There just is.
Yeah.
It's just isness.
Oneness.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like that, Duane.
This has been beautiful. I really, really hope that whoever is watching this is able to really receive, really able to receive, like, the messages that are, you know, presented here, and that it will germinate in your heart and it will bear much fruit, because this is it. This is our time now. And it's so important more than ever that we see ourselves clearly for who we are.
Yep.
Clearly, you know? That's the only place from which we can manifest what we're wanting to manifest in this world.
Facts. Well said. Well said. Well said. Thank you for adding that.
Yeah.
So, I think this concludes this episode. This concludes this episode of Come Let Us Reason Together. Please let us know if you have any questions or any comments. Leave them below and we will be sure to respond to it either by commenting under the video or in our next upcoming episode. I hope that you have an amazing time going within, ascending to know yourself better, and to just become the greatest version of yourself, the highest version of yourself. May all of your highest dreams manifest in this here and now. And we will see you again. We will see you again next Wednesday at 7:30. Have yourself a great, amazing time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.